Hey guys, welcome to another episode. We have heaps to get through, heaps of news, and as such, we're not going to do the winners today. I'm going to try and do that in the very next video, hopefully tomorrow, but I am a data 3, so anything can change, just like in Top Shot World. But we're here to talk about the news and the pre-registration packs, as well as a lot of stuff that came out. But first, I've got a surprise announcement for you. We started a podcast. So you can now find the Ballers Blockchain podcast, a lot of this content, maybe some exclusive content, because some of you have come to me and said that you're watching or listening to this on the go. So now, the easiest way to find me is on Spotify. Apple, it's still not there yet. It's quite frustrating to set up. And a few other places you'll find me listed. But back to the topic, we're going to go through all the news that we've got to break down, including news on packs, getting you prepared for the pre-registration pack drop, and much, much more. So what we're going to quickly do is recap. Obviously, this dropped today, the pre-registration base set, and I thought it was funny at first. It said one reservation. I thought, one pack, cool, that's going to last long, but it was one per account, so that worked out pretty good. You register, and you can see it's 4 a.m. my time it's dropping, so I don't have to wake up straight away. I can join the queue. I've got a good window, a 6-hour window to join the queue between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. American time, Pacific. So I've got a good amount of time to wake up in my own time and join the queue and get my pack. So that's unreal for us Aussies and New Zealanders and a lot of you people that have gotten in touch with me. I'm going to quickly, you can link to the spreadsheet, which is at the bottom of the pack page. And basically, I would summarize this spreadsheet as everything we've seen in the base set commons so far. So we've got the 4,000 LEs, we've got some 12,000s, and we've got the 35,000. So we've seen it before in the marketplace. I think pretty much we're getting a distribution of those moments in this pack. So if you've been scouting moments, you've got LeBrons and Durants, and you've been scouting all these kinds of people, and you've got some of your favorites, tomorrow or today when you're watching, the day of the drop, might be the day for you to get a hold of some of your favorites. What I'm going to show you a plugin that I like to use that I've set up. So this is a Luka Doncic moment, currently going for 25, and it's a 35cc moment, 35k cc. And you can see currently, if it loads, this is a Flow Market Cap extension, 51% is circulating and 48.19% are still in packs. Some of that coming in this new drop. Now, this is the plugin NBA Banana. It's a Chrome extension, and it shows you some of the best buys on the left, which is sorted, and you can add an alert. So I'm going to add an alert. If Luka drops below $20 any cereal, create an alert. It will send me an email of, whoops, I've got to choose my cereal, any cereal. It'll send me an email when someone dumps it for a ridiculous price. I've got so many emails in my inbox of LeBron being dropped for $20 or things like that, and you try and jump on them. Not always do you get them. They last like less than a minute, but you might just find yourself finding a bargain if you set up some of these alerts. A quick note on Cool Cats. TJ McConnell's gone ridiculous at $95, which I can't quite believe. I thought he was expensive when I bought him at $58. So if you're looking to finish the Cool Cats requirement, you may not want to anymore. The cost is now $238. So if I flipped all my moments right now, I would get $238. Moment Ranks tweeted that they reckon Fred VanVleet will be worth $145, and they're copying it in the comments. Some people think he's going to be worth $50. Some people thought he was going to be worth a little bit more. I tend to agree with Moment Ranks. I think someone's going to sell this for around $150, $145, especially the day it drops. Someone will start it off at $200 maybe, and then it might fall to the floor. Who knows? It's going to be really interesting. I've never seen so much disagreement with what a moment's going to be valued when it comes out. So that will be really interesting to see what happens. But if you've got 4 out of the 5 moments, maybe that flipping TJ McConnell at $95 is worth it for you. I've only spent $120 to complete the Fred VanVleet challenge. So for me, it's still not much of a loss. But just make your own choices, make your own informed choices about what you can flip all your moments for now if you're going for Cool Cats, if you're not going for Cool Cats, and what you can get if you and what you can actually, or how much you need to invest to finish the Fred VanVleet challenge hours. And the news that we got today. Right, here we go. Packs and moments. Pre-order pack drop. Obviously, this happened today, and the pre-order pack drop also happened just before they started talking about this. This pre-registration for getting a pack will make the process of an actual pack delivery even smoother, improving the overall collector experience and reducing the need for engineers and developers to be pulled away from their normal work to run maintenance. So basically, what they were saying was site issues when overwhelming the amount of collectors. When a lot of people open packs at the same time. So like when we got the pre-order packs, they were saying that basically was crashing the site or causing issues that dragged the engineers away from their normal jobs. This pre-register is meant to alleviate that. So it'd be interesting to see if they stagger the pack deliveries. So not everyone's opening at the same time. They didn't quite elaborate on that, but that'll be interesting to see. Because obviously that affects the marketplace as well, and we don't know what kind of cooldown we're going to have when all these things happen. Will be less issues from failed purchases, no need to refund failed deliveries, etc., as they can front load the checkout of the accounts that are registered to confirm that they are bad or multi-accounters. So what they're trying to say there is this pre-register also is a way for them to identify multi-accounters before they actually deliver the pack, as opposed to delivering the pack and then having to refund essentially the dodgy accounts. So that's interesting as well. Long term, we see this as a potential blueprint for getting packs to collectors' hands for a range of different use cases. So that's good. Series 1 base set moments release plan is coming by the end of the month, which means Friday your time or Saturday Aussie time. So that's very, very soon. It might be on Friday, it might be before. Unless anything changes last minute, then it will definitely be then. So that's really cool. There will be another multi-series release similar to Cool Cats. So we're going to get a replacement essentially. It will be a common base set, name not yet revealed. This set will celebrate some of the flashiest and grittiest plays of the NBA season. So that's pretty cool. The Cool Cats replacement, yet named, will be the flashiest and grittiest plays of this season. So that's a lot there's a lot of packs that are coming out, and we're going to go through some of them more. Potentially something to celebrate the Cool Cats Master Challenge for those members that have completed every single Cool Cats challenge, rather than those that have bought the Cool Cats moments. So the question was, is there a way for a reward for the people that have done the actual challenges as opposed to the people that have just bought the Cool Cats moments in the marketplace, who are probably financially better off at this point? No word on how or what that sort of reward would look like, but this won't be a moment or a pack or something with a material value in the marketplace. But they're speculative, and they're talking about and thinking about a way to reward the people that have done every Cool Cats challenge. So we'll look out for updates on that. Will there be more moments specifically for milestone achievements? There was a question about, i.e. Curry from the Warriors becoming their leading scorer. Jacob basically said he wouldn't be shocked if that happened, but he stated he's probably the wrong person to ask, but he wouldn't be surprised if there was, say, a Steph Curry moment which celebrates that achievement, and maybe some other achievements in future for different players. Can't confirm or deny if owning a set will be required for a future pack drop. That was a question. Will owning a set be required? A while back, people were buying the gift set because it was the cheapest, smallest set to buy, because that was a rumor going out there that it was going to be a requirement. The focus is on the collector score as a long-term tool for pack drop eligibility. And it's possible that completing a set will boost your collector score, but it wouldn't be like the sole requirement. Owning a set might help that score quite a bit. That's still being worked on behind the scenes. Collector score is expected to be in 2021 for sure, though. Looking for a couple of months at least to be released, or a few months. So that's good. They've talked about the collector score at least in the last 2 office hours. So it's definitely something that's front of mind that they're going to do to, I guess, replace what we currently have as the pack drop requirements. But I imagine all those things will play a factor. So you got so many moments that gives you a certain score, so on and so forth. Potentially, there will be a playoff set down the road that will include moments from the play-in tournament. So they were talking about will there be a play-in set, essentially, or play-in moments. And he basically said, I wouldn't be surprised if they were in the playoff pack releases, the play-in tournament games or moments, but not specifically a play-in tournament set, was basically where he landed on that one. Regarding the site, yesterday on the 26th, where they had a stress test, including to check to see how fast they could process pack purchasing and check out ahead of the pre-register pack drop. So that was what they were stress testing. We were wondering this. The stress tests themselves have improved a lot. They mentioned that they still remember they exist to test new features and new ideas. Things can break, and it's important to remember the goal of them is to improve the overall quality of blah, blah, blah. What they did also mention is they were trying to measure or find the right speed of the queue, how quickly they can move it on. And the stress tests they were also mentioned used to mean that they were like 50% confident if what they were testing was actually going to work or blow up. And that's what being in beta was all about, really. And things have improved a lot since then. Now they were pretty sure. And in fact, they said in the first minute we knew it was a successful stress test. So that was interesting. So it might happen again where things could put the platform, but overall he tried to stress that it's for the long-term user experience of the platform, for the better experience. More tools for collectors to organize their moments is on the radar, and long-term it's 100% going to happen. But in the short term, it's not top of their list of what they want to achieve on their to-do list. They expect to have something built fairly soonish in the scheme of Top Shot. So people want to organize their moments the way they would organize them in Moment Ranks or Evaluate Market, right there and live. So I think that's definitely something that people want, and they will get to as well. Release 27. So this pre-register release, it was numbered. What number was it? 32. I thought so. I didn't want to get it wrong. It's release 22. Now, there was a release 27 that popped up during or just before the HOLO icon drop, the last one. That base set is still planning to be released. It was created for the HOLO icon drop. Then they realized they needed more than the 50,000 that are in that release to get every collector a rebound pack in that drop. So they made release 28. Then they made release 29 for the rebound for MGLE. So 27's just been sitting in the background ready to go, and we haven't had it yet. So it was asked what's happening. It'll come out sometime. A watch list feature is in the same category as moment organizing. It's on their radar. They know the community wants it. There's no timeline on it, but they are going to do it. And they mentioned third-party sites. Again, I like NBA Banana. They have a watch alert, which I just showed you how to do. And momentranks.com I really like as well. You can set up a login. It doesn't cost anything. You can set up a watch list and get alerts for when those moments reach a certain price. You can set serial numbers, all that sort of stuff. So they're really good tools at the moment. I think a watch list, kind of like eBay, I've set it heaps, bidding and watch list, just like eBay, would be fantastic for Top Shot if you can get an alert. But still, I imagine also you'd have to be really, really quick. Marketplace and challenges. The randomizing of serial numbers of moments at the same price was introduced to reduce the amount of collectors trying to buy the same moment at the exact same time. So if you click on select and buy, have you noticed that say the lowest ask is 20, the lowest serial numbers are all scrambled? That being said, straight after this offers hours, the serial numbers are no longer scrambled. So if I go back to my Luca here and I clicked on select and buy, oops, I got to refresh it, I think. The serial numbers, all of a sudden, they're not scrambled anymore. They're in order of lowest ask. So as soon as office hours finish, they seem to update that straight away. And now they're in order. So that's good news. I think a lot of people were a bit annoyed about that and they wanted it back that way. It was designed so people weren't going and getting failed transactions because everyone's going for the same deal. I'm not sure it quite worked out that way. I mean, NBA Banana, again, you have certain best buy analysis here on the left, and it was just much easier to read that and go, oh, okay, well, I could go to the lowest ask or I could go to the lowest 4-digit serial number I can see. So that was something that that's gone now. It's over. There you go. Pack marketplace. So selling packs on the marketplace is potentially coming sometime in the summer, my winter, but not a firm timeline. They are aware of the demand for it and are committed to it. Jacob feels confident about their ability to release it by the summer, but there are some things that are higher on the pecking order. Yep, fair enough. Some of them we've already mentioned. They do look at the marketplace values and try to make sure that challenges are affordable to collectors, but they don't look at rumors or gossip about potential challenge moments, as they are pre-selected to a plan and they have a team that are excited to pick out interesting and exciting themes to link players. And he brought up the Fred VanVleet link, which was undrafted players. The challenges have a lot of consideration put into them, particularly the theme and accessibility of the challenge. So the question was about, I guess, rumors and the and gossip, and basically they just said, Top Shot, don't look at that. We have a plan and we have a theme, and we go with that. So I know people are already speculating Cool Cat 6, what the challenge theme might be. Buzzer beaters, grit. I've seen a few, but at this point they've been keeping it pretty tight lately, and it's been really hard to predict, unlike some of the other Cool Cats challenges, like number 3. Series 1 moments will be seen in future challenges. 100%, he said, but no more word on when. So it's kind of sounded like it wasn't like the next challenge up will involve a Series 1 moment, but sometime soon probably will. Cool Cat 6 challenge, so the one after Fred VanVleet, is expected in a relatively soon time frame. It could even be straight after Fred VanVleet. Moments for the next challenge and after the current ones are already picked, but no confirmation on Cool Cat 6 will come out immediately or not after Fred VanVleet. So the moments are picked, but again, it's a tight secret, so we don't know who they are yet. Miscellaneous and upcoming. The hardcore game will be impacted by the tier of the moment. The question was, will it matter will you be better in the game if you had a lower serial number or a higher serial number of the moment that you're putting into the game? And he basically said, I know that the tier will impact the moment, like if it's a legendary, that will be advantageous. If it was a rare, that'd be advantageous. Serial numbers, he didn't think were a consideration yet, but he did sort of specify he doesn't really have the visibility on that. He's not developing the game. The showcase issue of moments not playing in order will be fixed, but no timeline on when. But certainly before the showcase competition, before the next showcase competition. So possibly not before the end of this showcase, but before the end one. WNBA moments, not expected in this series, looking like potentially next season though. Okay, that's been asked a lot. Now, here we get to some juicy stuff. A rare drop in May is coming from a set already done in Series 1. The Throwdown set. No idea on edition size, but assuming a larger edition size of what than we saw in Series 1. Throwdown sets are a collection of the best dunks of the year. But they did say some of the best dunks of the year are already moments. I know Anthony Edwards has got 2 very good dunks, and I think he's got the dunk of the year in the Rising Stars, which was also mentioned. There was a previous video on that I did ages ago, but Throw It Down will be a specific series coming very soon, so that's exciting. Another common set is also due to be released around flashiness and grittiness, as talked about earlier. One more HOLO icon drop is definitely happening and is planned. A legendary set for the NBA playoffs is expected and at some point, but not until at least the playoffs start, obviously. Still contemplating a legendary set around rookies, so that's cool, but not a rookie debut set as they've already had the Rising Stars set. That's a 50-50 chance though, the rookie one. Run it back moments are not expected until the off season, which makes sense. I mean, we've got playoffs, we've got all these things happening in the NBA schedule. We'll do run it back after. Badges are not expected to be revisited until the end of the season, or the off season, sorry. Can always retroactively add later badges, he was saying. So if they decide to add MVP badges or scoring titles or Rookie of the Years or whatever else, he said they can always add them retrospectively, which is what they did when they introduced the badges. Top Shot is interested in each and every day. More players are coming to them, and there are a handful of retired players that are looking to get into the mix as well. He did mention and name dropped Jeremy Lin. Is a good example of one of the players that have been in contact with Jacob about joining the platform. Recently, certified bowlers Paul George, Karl Anthony Towns, and PJ Washington joined the certified bowlers list. So it seems to be spreading through the NBA locker rooms, and there was another story today from Tyrese Halliburton essentially suggesting how it's gone through the NBA locker rooms, and he even had a Sacramento meeting, but there was a pack drop, so he gave someone in the locker room, not a player or a member of staff, his credit card and said, "Can you finish this pack drop for me? I've got to go to the team meeting." And sure enough, that's what happened. So he was sort of saying there's no special treatment. NBA players have to get in line as well, which is kind of funny. The idea of a challenge reward coming in a pack instead of just sending the moment into the account. This is something they definitely like to do. It's what they did with the gift set when they gifted moments to people who joined before the start of February. It was sort of like a pack experience, and you got like one moment. But again, it's something in the pipeline, but not guaranteed will happen. And, you know, it's one of those things that they seem to be hearing us that on, and it would be much better to open that reward. Will we limit the amount of moments of a single player in a series? So they were talking about, you know, if LeBron has too many moments, so on and so forth. But what was mentioned was if a player goes through the playoffs, they're obviously going to have a lot more moments because they're going to develop and have a lot more bigger plays, a lot more epic moments. And obviously if they're going to be playing more games through more rounds, they're going to have more moments to develop. But they did say it's something that they're seriously considering, and they'll consider it carefully, and this led to him speaking about the run-it-backs. The run-it-backs, there will be at some point historical moments that make it into the base set, which is really interesting, and he was kind of, we weren't expecting this, especially at this point of the office hours. They won't be like run-it-back, there will be common moments with a higher addition size, so it's almost like a common run-it-back. But there is a possibility that there will be common base moments that include players in the run-it-back set from earlier seasons. This isn't the near future stuff, but he said, for example, if we went back to run-it-back 2013, you know, Giannis would definitely be included. So really interesting that they're going to talk about some like run-it-backs, but in a common sort of set. And I think that goes back to what they've been trying to do a lot lately with tiers, making a lot of things accessible for a lot of different types of collectors, not just the rarest and scarcest or the most scarcity, but also the people in the middle who can afford the rares and the people down below who can only afford the commons. And I mean, that makes sense. You want it to be accessible for all different types and allow people to scale up to those different tiers. Top Shot is working towards getting the trademark on moment collectibles. Okay, fair enough. Should be a lot easier than getting iMoments from Apple, so that's good. But no extra clarification given on that at this point. And that is it. So much news. That was like an hour's worth of office hours that I've condensed into what I can count as 24 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to get to the 5 winners from the 1,000 sub early adopter reward very, very soon. I'm going to announce that hopefully in the very next video. And there's lots of exciting kindness and people that have shared things with me that I'll share with you, which is unbelievable. Don't forget, you can now find us on some podcasts, especially Spotify is the easiest one where you can find this if you're listening to me on the go. I appreciate you for being here as early adopters of the Ballers blockchain, and I will see you in the next video. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. See ya.
To keep getting valuable NBA Top Shot content, subscribe to the Ballers blockchain wherever you're listening and on YouTube. See ya!